Hello chaps, Troy here. We are in London, we're in Chelsea, walking down the street, and I wanted to talk about something that is quite important and maybe doesn't get the attention that it needs in this space, and that is love bombing, okay, the issue of love bombing. So what is love bombing? Well, basically what it means is, say that you have just met somebody, you've been out on a night out, or you've been out during the day or whatever, and you met somebody who you really like, you met like somebody you're really attracted to, like great girl, really pretty, you guys had like a good vibe together, maybe you made out, maybe something a little bit more than that happened, and it felt like, this is really awesome, this is really good. And yet there's just something about the way that she is acting that it seems a little bit odd. And the reason it seems odd is not for the usual reason that she's just ghosted you or hasn't responded to your text or something like that, which obviously in this wonderful day and age seems to be de rigueur in the dating marketplace. No, this is when she is actually coming on really, really strong. Okay, she's coming on really, really strong, really, really early on, okay? And the problem with this is that it's a red flag. But it's a red flag that seems very nice and enjoyable, and it seems like rather than a red flag, it seems like the outcome that actually you wanted, right? Because who doesn't want to meet somebody that you're attracted to who also really, really likes you? I mean, it's sort of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? So this is a bit of a difficult one to police in a way, because your natural inclination is going to be to just roll with it, because I mean, as I say, you've met somebody, you're attracted to her, she appears to be very attracted to you, she's giving you all the right signs, albeit in a profusion of them, but she's giving you all the right signs. I mean, why are you going to complain about that? Where's the problem? Where's the beef, right? There isn't one, or so you think. But you see, what I've learned over the years is that often when you get this kind of love bombing, when you get this early sort of extreme of affection being directed towards you, while that can feel very nice, and while that can seem like all your dreams have come true and you're going to be living happily ever after, the truth of the matter is, the other side of it is often control, a desire for control, or an agenda of some sort. Now, in my own life, I can think of, there's probably been a few, but I can think of at least 3 examples when this has happened, right? 3 examples when very early on in the relationship, I met somebody who is really attractive, and sometimes as well, and maybe this is just my experience, I don't know whether you guys have found the same thing, but in my personal experience, it's happened a few times where the girl has actually been maybe very attractive or more kind of where I was somewhat taken aback that she liked me. I thought maybe she would have been out of my league or whatever, and but no, she likes me, and not only does she like me, but she really likes me, and and she's all over me, and she's sending messages all the time, and she wants to come around all the time, and she's talking about moving things really, really quickly. In one instance, as I say, there's about 3 examples I can think of offhand of this, and the first one was really the first girlfriend I had when I was very young, 20. And very inexperienced and didn't know what I was doing and didn't know about any of this stuff. And I got together with this particular girl, and she was very, very full on very, very quickly, okay? And at the time I just thought, well, great. I just thought, well, this is brilliant, she's very attractive, I like her, she obviously likes me, it's all good. It's all good. And I thought, it's all good. And for a while it was, until her real craziness, to be frank, started to come out, and her desire to control me started to come out, and her outbursts of anger and rage and all the rest of it came out, okay? And this is really, I suppose, the nub of it, what I'm trying to get at here. You've got to be aware that when somebody acts in that way, it may be a poisoned chalice, okay? It might be that if it looks too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true, because real relationships, right, they take time to develop. It's usually not incredibly like plain sailing. It's usually not sort of like, you just say one thing to her in the nightclub and suddenly she's all over you and she wants to marry you. If that happens, there's something slightly weird going on, okay? And often the women, and I guess it works the other way around as well. I guess men do this as well, but let's just say for our purposes, the women who do this often tend to be quite damaged. They tend to want to control you, or they tend to have an agenda of some sort, or maybe all three at the same time. And it even happened to me fairly recently with somebody, actually. And it's somebody that I actually, I really like, and we'd had some dealings before, and we were sitting down. She's just so fiercely all over me, that you kind of think, on the one hand, yeah, it's nice that somebody likes you to that extent. But also, you kind of think, just seems a little bit odd, and there was just a slight thing about her that made me think, well, and I know anyway from previous experience, that she kind of wants to control me a little bit, She kind of wants to control what I do, where I go, who I see, all of those kinds of things. And often guys, unfortunately, and I've done this myself in the past, will basically just concede to anything. They'll concede to anything because they want a girlfriend, they want to get laid, they want to date, whatever. So they will almost concede anything. They'll sign away any rights that they previously had just in order to get with this particular girl. And at the beginning, that might seem like it's worth doing. When you first get into the relationship, having that great sex, the chemicals are buzzing, whatever, you might think, well, it's a price worth paying, but it never really is. And the reason it never really is because when somebody does want to control you, when somebody wants something from you, nothing is ever enough. All right? Nothing is ever enough. They'll start and they'll say, well, I want you in on Thursday night. And then it's not just Thursday night, it's Friday night as well. And then it's Saturday and Sunday and Monday night. Until in the end, your time isn't your own anymore. There's always going to be an extra concession that they're going to want you to make. All right? And oftentimes, the way that these are, I'm saying, kind of somewhat predatory people, I suppose, who are really looking to push forward their agenda with you. Those people, in order to get you to go along with the program, those people are going to show you up front, a lot of affection, a lot of attention of different kinds, sexual, romantic, whatever. And it's going to feel great, but you've got to keep your wits about you, You've got to keep your wits about you. And I suppose with time and experience, you get a little bit more awake to this kind of stuff. But I would say in the early days, if you're less experienced, then you've just got to think, is this a bit too good to be true? And if it is, that might be a red flag, all right? The one thing I would say about this, though, is that I think that you can also become a little bit overly cynical. And I do wonder sometimes if I, myself, have become overly cynical. When questioning people's motives, when questioning the motives of women that I meet, what does she want? What are her, what's her sort of long-term goal with this and everything like that? Perhaps you can also read into this a little bit too deeply, and that probably isn't a good thing either. So you've got to try and be balanced. If you like somebody, you meet them and you're having a good time. Yes, go with it, but you've also just got to watch their behavior. And this is why, above all, you should never rush into any sort of real commitment. You should always for at least 6 months and probably really a year, you know, before you're really seriously committing to something with somebody. And you just want to watch them. You want to just observe their behavior, see what they do, okay? And whatever they do, you know, it's, remember, you listen to their, you watch their actions, don't listen to their words, right? Whatever they do, that is ultimately where they're coming. That's ultimately what they're about, okay? It's what they actually do. So you've got to just watch out what they do and act accordingly and be ready to, you know, cut the ripcord if necessary. But yeah, I just thought it would be useful to come on and talk about that because it doesn't get talked about huge amounts. And I just think it's important, right? Because it's very easy. It's very easy to get beguiled by somebody, especially as a guy, and especially as a younger guy as well, you know? We're so easily hypnotized by female beauty. We're so easily entranced and sort of bedazzled, you know? And that makes us impervious, or somewhat impervious to very obvious red flags. I was talking the other day about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, and I don't want to go into that in any detail now, but apparently, listening to what Johnny Depp's been saying, this was the case with them. You know, at the beginning, she was really, really all over him. She really, really love-bombed him. You know, to the point, and then he fell in love. And then, well, the rest is history, right? So just be careful. Just be careful. And just recognize that, you know, all that glitters is not necessarily gold. Anyway, with all of that being said, I'm going to go and grab some food now, so I will leave it for today. But if you like this stuff, if you like the channel, do subscribe, hit the subscribe button below. If you're not already, get on my free email list. Again, the link is below. And also CAD Academy launching on the 26th of May for new enrollments, and then the course proper starts on the 1st of June. I've been doing 5 days of intensive charisma and dating training with me. It's going to be awesome. Get onto the email list below in order to be alerted when that opens up. Don't miss out. All right, guys. Anyway, have a good one. See you very soon. Bye-bye.